Hello friends, you might have been thinking that Santosh sir is not uploading videos these days. Actually, my mother is seriously ill and she has been hospitalized and is in ICU for the last 15 days, struggling for life. So I would request all my subscribers and viewers to pray for her and get well sooner. So, mentally I'm a little bit disturbed, but anyway, I will try my with my full potential to help you in this examination. So, to continue with that, let's start Unit 11 of MCO 05, Basic Concepts of Standard Costing. Now, in this particular unit, you should read about standard cost and estimated cost. Sometimes you get this difference. I will brief you up. Standard cost, these costs are planned costs which are prepared after considering the level of production efficiency. That means, standard, there is a standard set for every performance, and that standard is compared with the actual performance, right? So, so you can define in that way. And in estimated cost, we just calculate the expected cost of a product or production capacity. Standard cost, these cost answer the question what should be the cost of the product, whereas estimated cost, it answers the question what cost will be. Okay, what will be the cost of the product or service. And standard cost, basically it measures the efficiency of an activity, whereas estimated cost, they do not measure any such efficiency. So like this, you can explain the difference. Then comes the most important topic, standard costing. Now let's see what is standard costing. Standard cost, just now I explained you. From there you can get the definition of standard costing. So it is a technique of cost accounting which compares standard cost of the product with the actual cost. Just now I told you about this, so that we can determine the efficiency of the operation or efficiency of the employees. So it is, every organization sets standards for its employees. And let's see the main advantages of standard costing. Basically, it measures the efficiency of the performance, like whether the employees have performed up to the standard, more than standards or less than standards, and accordingly the actions are taken. And then it helps to fix the prices of goods and services. This is a very simple point. Then it controls cost, it avoids wastages, and it helps to apply the management by exception. Okay, so like that means it helps to fixes the responsibility and authority. Like that, it helps to value the stock, the closing stock. And the last one is it helps to fix and formulate incentives and rewards for employees. And those employees which perform more than standards, they should be rewarded, they should be given incentives. So that's the rule. Some limitations of standard costing can be asked in the exams. Now basically, first limitation or disadvantage is difficult. It is quite impractical to set standards for efficiency, and it is not basically suitable for small scale enterprises or small scale business. And they are very hard to follow a certain standard because things keeps on changing from time to time and situation. So every time you just can't follow the same standards, and it helps to fix the responsibility. So that is not possible. In fact, on the basis of standards, we cannot fix the responsibility. Then there are frequent technological changes. So that means we need to change the standards every time. Now, the basic objectives of standard costing is to control the cost and reduce the wastages. You can easily define this point. It helps in the management efficiency, the resources can be managed effectively. Then it helps in developing cost consciousness in the organization, right? And it helps to fix the prices of goods and services. And it also helps to frame policies, rules, principles all these things for the organization. So very easy points in objectives you can easily define. One more important question that you should read about is standard costing and budgeting, the difference. Okay, basically, standard costing, we know about that. Budgets are prepared on the basis of standard cost and historical cost, and budgets are prepared for various purposes, not for one basic purpose of cost. So there are many purposes for which we can prepare budget, and budget generally emphasizes cost levels which should not exceed the expected budget. And budgets are prepared basically for a financial year, and budgets generally set maximum limit of the expenditures. But in standard costing, it is just all the points are reversed, right? So we can easily differentiate this. Then what are the requisites for the success of standard costing? How can we make standard costing better? So what are the conditions and factors that affect it? First one, establishment of cost centers. Cost centers, basically, they are established to ascertain and control cost. It may be a location, a person, or an item or equipment whose cost is ascertained. And a center which relates to a person is known as personal center. Like that, the center which do not relate to the persons, they may be location, or they may be called as impersonal cost center. So these centers are located in each department of an organization. So like that, you can explain these points. Different types of cost centers are there. Then we have a classification of accounts. This is one important, like different accounts are classified, and different types of standards should be set for different products and services and departments, and setting standard costs. So these four requisites are important. And in classification of accounts, we must classify accounts on the basis of functions, revenue, assets and liabilities, and codes and symbols may be used to facilitate speedy collection and analysis of accounts. So this should be done in standard costing. Then there are different types of standards that we use in cost accounting, like ideal standard, then we have expected standard, then we have normal standard, basic standard, like that. There are four types of standards. And in setting standard cost, basically every activity should be taken into account while establishing the standard, and the responsibility of setting standard should be given to one specific person who is made responsible, and that can be a committee or a cost accountant. So like this. This is unit 12, variance analysis. Variance means the difference between the standard cost and actual cost incurred during a given period. Variance means difference in common parlance, and it may be favorable and unfavorable. That means if the actual cost is more than if the standard cost is less than the standard, if the actual cost is less than the standard cost, the variance is favorable, otherwise it is unfavorable. These are few formulas which you must prepare, because you get numerical in this particular chapter, like material cost, MCV, MPV. So I have also discussed all these numericals in my previous videos. You should also watch my previous numerical videos on MCO05, which are there in my playlist. And these are few important numericals that I have worked out in my previous videos also. And okay, let's move on to this. Basically, you will get one question from here as a numerical, so you must practice almost like most of the examples from IGNOU study materials. So that will help you a lot. You might get labor or material. Out of these two, you can get one question. So okay, like I am planning to to prepare one separate video for MCO05 numericals, which I think you will be getting before the exams. Okay, let's first discuss the theory part. Unit 13, again variance analysis, but this is part 2. And here you should actually ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन यहाँ से आता नहीं है यूनिट 13 से, बहुत रेयरली कम क्वेश्चन आते हैं. आपको क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ ओवरहेड वेरिएंस, ये क्वेश्चन आप थोड़ा सा देख सकते हैं. एंड सेल्स वेरिएंस पे आई थिंक आपके अभी जो असाइनमेंट थे तो वहाँ पे आई थिंक सेल्स वेरिएंस से क्वेश्चन था, तो ये क्वेश्चन आपको मिल सकते हैं. ओके, आगे चलते हैं. नेक्स्ट यूनिट जो ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है, एंड दिस इज़ ऑन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी अकाउंटिंग. रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी अकाउंटिंग बेसिकली इट्स अ न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट एंड इट रिफर्स टू, जैसे कि मैंने यहाँ पे डेफिनेशन लिखा हुआ है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी अकाउंटिंग इज़ अ मेथड ऑफ बजटिंग एंड परफॉर्मेंस रिपोर्टिंग. And responsibility accounting focuses on people and not on things or cost. And you can define in this way that it is a system of management accounting where specific individuals are made responsible for accounting in particular areas of cost control. Basically कोई एक सिंगल पर्सन को रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी जाती है टू कंट्रोल द कॉस्ट. ठीक है, तो दैट इज़ कॉल्ड परफॉर्मेंस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी अकाउंटिंग. इसके कुछ एडवांटेजेस हैं, जैसे वी कैन ईजिली इवेलुएट द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज़ बिकॉज वन सिंगल बॉस और द जिस पर्सन को हम लोगों ने रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी है कॉस्ट कंट्रोल की, तो वो बहुत अच्छे से इवेलुएट कर सकता है अपने सबॉर्डिनेट्स को. देन इट हेल्प्स इन डेलीगेशन ऑफ ऑथोरिटी and we can make one person responsible for all the cost control. Then motivation. The responsible person always tries to motivate his subordinates to achieve a better performance, so that results in better output and production. Then corrective actions can be taken by the responsible person. So बहुत easy points हैं, easily explain कर सकते हैं. And it also leads to specialization. And there are some essentials of the success of responsibility accounting. कुछ factors हैं जो responsibility accounting में हमें we should remember. It requires the support of all levels of management. ठीक है, it is not about only the production department or middle level department or upper level. All the levels of management should support responsibility accounting. And the manager should be held responsible for cost, and controllable and non-controllable costs should be separated, and it should achieve the objectives and goals of the organization. There should be delegation of authority and responsibility also, and motivation of the individuals should be enhanced by the manager, and there should be timely reporting, and there should be follow-up and corrective actions when standards are not achieved. Okay, let's move on to unit 15, marginal costing. Marginal costing I think हम लोगों ने MCOM के स्टैंडर्ड में पढ़ा हुआ है, एंड इसका डेफिनेशन देख लेते हैं. In marginal costing, costs are classified into fixed and variable cost, and marginal cost is equal to the increase in the total variable cost with increase in 1 unit of प्रोडक्शन. अगर 1 यूनिट एक्स्ट्रा हम लोग अगर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करते हैं तो उसकी जो कॉस्ट आता है दैट इज़ कॉल्ड मार्जिनल कॉस्ट. एंड सम फीचर्स ऑफ मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग आर देयर, लाइक ऑल कॉस्ट आर क्लासिफाइड इनटू फिक्स्ड एंड वेरिएबल कॉस्ट, एंड फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट आर कंसिडर्ड पीरियोडिक कॉस्ट एंड वेरिएबल कॉस्ट आर कंसिडर्ड एज प्रोडक्ट कॉस्ट. एंड फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट आर नॉट इंक्लूडेड इन द प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट. Only variable costs are included. Stock of work in progress and finished goods are valued always at marginal cost, and the difference in the value of opening and closing stock should not affect the unit of production. So these points should be taken care of. Main characteristics marginal costing की. And ये भी बहुत important question है, profit volume ratio, PV ratio. जैसा कि इसके नाम में है, इसका definition प्रॉफिट और वॉल्यूम का रेशियो. तो पीवी रेशियो इज़ अ रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन कंट्रीब्यूशन एंड सेल्स, एंड इन अदर वर्ड्स इट इज़ अ रेशियो बिटवीन कंट्रीब्यूशन पर प्रोडक्ट टू टर्नओवर, राइट. एंड ये फॉर्मूला है जो हम लोग न्यूमेरिकल्स के लिए यूज़ करते हैं, बिकॉज इसके ऊपर न्यूमेरिकल आता ही आता है। पीवी रेशियो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये फॉर्मूला। एंड पीवी रेशियो का फॉर्मूला है सेल्स माइनस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट बाय सेल्स। सेल्स माइनस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट को हमें वी कैन ऑल्सो कॉल इट एज कंट्रीब्यूशन। सो कंट्रीब्यूशन डिवाइडेड बाय सेल्स, सो दैट विल गिव यू पीवी रेशियो। Then there are some uses of marginal costing or advantages, applications, कुछ भी आ सकता है, important है question. It helps to fix prices, it helps to explore markets, then it helps in profit planning, it helps in taking purchasing decisions, and it also helps in introducing new product in the market. तो ये कुछ important इसके uses हैं marginal costing के. Okay. कुछ लिमिटेशंस भी देख लेते हैं। इट इज़ डिफ़िकल्ट टू क्लासीफाई द कॉस्ट ऑन द इनटू फिक्स्ड, वेरिएबल, कंट्रोलेबल एंड नॉन कंट्रोलेबल कॉस्ट, बिकॉज इट इज़ वेरी इम्प्रैक्टिकल एंड इट इज़ नॉट suitable फॉर एक्सटर्नल रिपोर्टिंग. इट इज़ a expensive process because we have to recruit one separate person for this, and it is not suitable for small organizations because they cannot afford for marginal costing, and it also lacks in long term goals. Okay. एक और डिफरेंस आपको यहाँ पे इस यूनिट में करना है, दैट इज़ द डिफरेंस बिटवीन मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग एंड डिफरेंशियल कॉस्टिंग. Marginal costing considers the change in cost in order to produce an additional unit of output, whereas differential costing is the difference between the cost of two alternative decisions or of a change in the output level. And the purpose of marginal costing is to evaluate whether it is beneficial to produce one additional product or not. Whereas in differential, the main purpose is to evaluate most suitable option among the alternatives. So like this we can explain. Unit 16, break even analysis, बहुत ही important unit है ये, and I will advise all the students of MCOM to read this chapter properly. Break-even analysis, it is the study of cost, volume, profit relationship. That means यहाँ पे तीन concept हैं, cost, volume, profit. इनकी relationship हमें देखने को मिलती है break-even analysis में. And basically it helps to find out the point where cost and total sales revenue is same. It determines the output where the total cost is equal to total revenue. तो ये सबसे important line है in fact to define break-even analysis. And at this point there is no profit and no loss for the company. Okay. Then we can also define a break-even point. Break-even point is a point where cost is equal to revenue. That means no profit, no loss. And there are two methods to calculate BEP, that is mathematical and graphical. Basically आपको numerical मिलेगा BEP से. Always आपने अगर previous years के question paper देखे हुए हैं तो you get numericals on this. You can draw this flow chart of break-even analysis where ये जो line है, this is fixed cost and this one is variable cost. And this red line is a loss, this red area, and this blue area is a profit area. तो कंपनी ये पॉइंट के नीचे अगर सेलिंग प्राइस फिक्स करती है तो इट विल सफ़र लॉसेस, एंड इस पॉइंट के ऊपर अगर सेल करती है तो इट विल अर्न प्रॉफिट. सम assumptions are there like cost should be divided into fixed and variable cost. Fixed cost should not change. Variable cost changes with production. Selling price per unit remains constant, and this technology and methods of production remains constant. There is no opening and closing stock. तो ये कुछ assumptions हैं, because इन assumptions के बिना हम लोग इसको प्रूफ नहीं कर सकते. Then ये profit volume graph more or less इसी के जैसे ही है. And this one cost volume profit analysis, that is CVP, and break even analysis. इसका डिफरेंस भी आपको जरूर याद रखना है. CVP, cost volume profit analysis, is used to determine the sales volume required to achieve a specific profit level, whereas break even analysis, it helps to find a point where the total cost is equal to total revenue. right? So like this, basically BEP is a subset of CVP, right? एंड ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट फार्मूलाज हैं जो आपको याद रखने हैं न्यूमेरिकल्स के लिए, लाइक कंट्रीब्यूशन का सेल्स माइनस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट, फॉर बीईपी फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट डिवाइडेड बाय सेलिंग प्राइस माइनस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट, दिस इज़ फॉर यूनिट्स। एंड अगर बीईपी आपको वैल्यू में भी निकालना होता है तो दैट इज़ फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट डिवाइडेड बाय पीवी रेशियो। अगेन पीवी रेशियो का फॉर्मूला कंट्रीब्यूशन बाय सेल्स, जस्ट नाउ आई एक्सप्लेन यू। तो ये फार्मूलाज आपको बिल्कुल याद रखने हैं फॉर द एग्जाम्स। एंड साथ एग्जाम्पल्स में आपको ये भी निकालना होता है सेल्स वॉल्यूम रिक्वायर्ड टू अर्न ए डिजायर्ड प्रॉफिट, फॉर दैट फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट प्लस डिजायर्ड प्रॉफिट डिवाइडेड बाय कंट्रीब्यूशन पर यूनिट, दिस इज़ फॉर यूनिट्स। और अगर इसकी वैल्यू निकालनी है तो फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट प्लस डिजायर्ड प्रॉफिट डिवाइडेड बाय पीवी रेशियो। एंड इसकी जो न्यूमेरिकल्स हैं, ये न्यूमेरिकल्स मैंने प्रीवियस वीडियोज़ में ऑलरेडी अपलोड किए हुए हैं, तो इसको बिल्कुल देखें आप, बिल्कुल बहुत आपको हेल्प मिलेगी। ओके, आगे चलते हैं नेक्स्ट यूनिट के तरफ। यूनिट 17, रेलिवेंट कॉस्ट एंड डिसीजन मेकिंग। यू शुड नो अबाउट द डिफरेंशियल कॉस्टिंग। डिफरेंशियल कॉस्ट, जस्ट नाउ आई एक्सप्लेन यू अबाउट दिस ऑल्सो। इट इज़ द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द कॉस्ट एंड alternatives. It is also known as relevant cost. It is calculated as total cost and then the difference is calculated between the two levels of production. Basically, this cost help to take decisions, relevant cost or differential cost. And इसकी कुछ importance भी हैं, जैसे it helps to manufacture or buy a product. Then it helps to discontinue or continue a product, whether we will continue the product or not, so that we can get the information through differential analysis. We can also find whether to lease or sell the equipment or not. So basically ये सब management decisions हैं जहाँ पे हमें differential cost निकालने होते हैं, and to sell a product or process, and to repair or purchase an asset, then to accept or reject a sales at a reduced rate, तो like this. Okay, unit 18 is reporting, बहुत ही important है unit 18, इसको भी आप थोड़ा ध्यान से प्रिपरेशन करें एग्जाम्स के लिए। मैनेजमेंट रिपोर्टिंग का डेफिनेशन मैंने यहाँ पे पैराग्राफ में लिखा हुआ है। इट इज़ अ प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग इंफॉर्मेशन टू द मैनेजमेंट एंड दीज रिपोर्ट्स आर प्रोवाइडेड टू वेरियस लेवल्स ऑफ मैनेजमेंट ऑन अ रेगुलर बेसिस। एंड इसके जो मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं, बेसिकली अकाउंटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन मैनेजमेंट को प्रोवाइड करना, देन द मेन ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ रिपोर्टिंग टू हेल्प द मैनेजमेंट टू टेक राइट डिसीजंस, and reporting motivates the people and increases the efficiency of the workers. The ultimate aim of reporting is to maximize profit in the organization, and it also helps to control the operations of an organization. Now ये क्वेश्चन बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ रिपोर्ट्स। ये मेनली चार टाइप के रिपोर्ट्स हैं। अगेन इनकी डिफरेंट टाइप के रिपोर्ट्स हैं। लंबा क्वेश्चन है, लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन में मिल सकता है। Users report, reports based on information, reports based on nature, then functional classification of reports. So like this, these are four broad categories of reports. Now again, user report are again divided into different types, like internal users के लिए जो report बनती है, then some special reports are prepared for some special functions. Then there are some routinous reports which are prepared by the organization. Then reports are prepared for the external users like suppliers, government, like that. Then reports based on information, again they are divided into two types, operating reports and financial reports. Operating, basically it shows the operation of the business organization, and financial reports, as you know, profit and loss account, final accounts, balance sheet, like that. Then there are some reports based on nature, and there are some functional classification of reports like individual activity report. This is prepared for each individual or worker, and joint activity, that is group activity report. So like that. Another very important question, modes of reporting. Now there can be three modes. वन इज़ रिपोर्टिंग हम लोग राइटिंग में दे सकते हैं, या फिर ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन से दे सकते हैं, या फिर ऑरली रिपोर्टिंग कर सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पे दिस फर्स्ट कैटेगरी इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट वन, रिटन रिपोर्ट, एंड ईजी है, ईजीली हम लोग इसको डिफाइन कर सकते हैं। Okay, the next important question is, what are the essentials of a good report? A good report should be accurate, there should not be mistakes, it should be simple to understand, it should be reliable, all the information contained in the report should be true, and it should be economical. That means बहुत ज़्यादा खर्चा नहीं होना चाहिए रिपोर्टिंग पे. Then it should be prepared in time, and it should be complete in all respects. सो लाइक दिस. नेक्स्ट यूनिट में चलते हैं, यूनिट 19, रीसेंट डेवलपमेंट इन अकाउंटिंग. नाउ ये जो यूनिट 19 है, यहाँ से आपको शॉर्ट नोट्स के क्वेश्चन 100% मिलने वाले हैं. लाइक इन्फ्लेशन अकाउंटिंग, यहाँ पे कुछ बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग टाइप के अकाउंटिंग दिए हुए हैं. जैसे कि यहाँ पे इन्फ्लेशन का मतलब हम लोग जानते हैं राइज इन द प्राइस लेवल, एंड इन्फ्लेशन अकाउंटिंग इट रिकॉर्ड्स the rate of inflation, right? Because assets के जो values हैं वो दिन पर दिन increase होते हैं, जैसे कि land. तो वो जो rate होता है increase का, तो वहाँ से हम लोग accounting prepare करते हैं, which is called inflation accounting. Main objectives are to find the real profit or loss, then the real value of assets and liabilities, and to ensure sufficient fund available to replace a given asset. Like that, human resource accounting is related to human resource. That means people working in the organization. And basically, it helps in measuring the cost incurred by a business unit in recruiting, selecting, hiring, training, developing the human resource of an organization. बहुत ही simple definition है. And इसके main objectives basically to provide the cost value for management decisions, and it provides information for effective human resource utilization, how to use the human resources, to provide information for determining the status of human assets, and it helps in the development of effective human management policies, practices to be followed by the organization. बहुत important है इसके advantages, because without human resource a company cannot achieve its objectives. So बहुत ही important है. Then comes social accounting. Social accounting, as the name implies, accounting refers to the society, and it is a new concept. And social accounting is a framework whereby a firm prepares accounts for its social performance, and every organization should be socially responsible, and an organization can draw action plan to improve its performance towards the community. So यहाँ से आपको कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन, कुछ आइडियाज़ मिल गए होंगे अबाउट सोशल अकाउंटिंग. एंड बेसिकली यहाँ पे ये जो अकाउंटिंग है, दिस इज़ इट रिफ्लेक्ट्स द सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ ए बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. जैसे कि यहाँ पे मैंने एग्जांपल्स दिए हुए हैं, क्वालिटी ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, ह्यूमन राइट्स, एनवायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन, हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी, स्टेक होल्डर्स रिलेशनशिप, corporate social investment, employment generation, product and services. तो ये कुछ important elements हैं of social accounting. Then comes environmental accounting. That means accounting for the environment. ये भी new concept है. And as we know, the environment is getting polluted, so therefore we have developed this type of accounting. And it is defined as accountant's contribution towards environmental sensitivity. Okay, and like how the organization controls pollution or environment, or how it helps, how it can help. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हम लोग इसमें करते हैं. It is also known as green accounting, right? Okay, and इसके main जो objectives हैं, to assist professionals to gain knowledge about the environment. Then it provides relevant information about the environment, it provides information about companies' affairs to the external users. Like that, strategic cost management, again बहुत ही important है, इसको बिल्कुल मिस नहीं करना है. And cost management basically focuses on reducing cost and maximizing profits. ये कोई भी organization के very common objectives हैं. एंड स्ट्रैटेजिक कॉस्ट मैनेजमेंट के जो मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं बेसिकली यहाँ से निकलते हैं, ये तीन से: टू प्रोड्यूस गुड क्वालिटी ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, टू इंक्रीज वैल्यू टू द कस्टमर्स एंड टू मैक्सिमाइज प्रॉफिट्स। ये मेन तीन ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं कोई भी कंपनी के लिए जो सर्वाइव करना चाहती है लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए। एंड दिस कॉस्ट कंट्रोल कर सकती है बाय सेटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स फॉर ईच एलिमेंट and by comparing the actuals with the standards so that we can find the difference, the variance. Then we should analyze those variances, then we will take corrective steps to control the cost, and a planning of reduction of cost and maximize the profit should be done. Then it is a program to reduce the cost permanently, so like that. Okay, this was strategic cost. Then we have activity based costing. Basically, it is a method of assigning overheads and indirect cost to product. It helps to control cost and frame an appropriate pricing strategies, right? And different types of cost pools are assigned, and cost drivers like units and hours are fixed, and then cost rate is calculated. The main advantages of activity based costing is it is more accurate and reliable method of finding cost of a product, and it helps to understand the different overheads and eliminate unnecessary expenses. It helps in taking managerial decisions. एक लास्ट टॉपिक MCO 05 का ट्रेडिशनल कॉस्टिंग एंड एक्टिविटी बेस्ड कॉस्टिंग, ये डिफरेंस भी आपको बिल्कुल एग्जाम्स के लिए करना है, बहुत बार क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है। तो फ्रेंड्स, दैट्स ऑल इन दिस वीडियो. See you in the next video with another subject. Thank you for watching. Best of luck for the exams.